Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and whether they are real Super Bowl contenders. Right now, they're 6-2, and it's hard to argue against their chances in the division, especially since the Ravens have a worse record. The Steelers are also doing great at home, with a 3-1 record. Let's not forget about Russell Wilson. He's been playing really well, and many think the Steelers' defense might be the best in the league. But the big question is, can they win the Super Bowl? ESPN recently had a discussion about this, and most people were confident, saying the Steelers definitely have a shot with that strong defense. Russ has already won a Super Bowl and is a top-notch game manager. In a recent game against the Giants, he completed 20 out of 28 passes for 278 yards and 1 touchdown, which is impressive. Those aren't just game manager numbers, they're elite stats. He also had a fantastic first game as a Steeler against the Jets, where the team scored 37 points. My main concern for the Steelers is consistency. Can they run and throw the ball effectively at the same time? Against the Giants, they rushed for 167 yards and threw for 278. It doesn't have to be those exact numbers, but they need to execute well in the red zone and score touchdowns instead of just kicking field goals. Luckily, they have some great weapons on offense. I was really excited to see Russ take the lead, even though I'm a big fan of Justin Fields. I wanted to see how the passing game would improve. Players like George Pickens, who had 4 catches for 74 yards, and Kelvin Austin, 3 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown, stepped up. I'd love to see more from tight ends like Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, but it's great to see the wide receivers getting the ball. Russ has an incredible deep ball, possibly the best in the league, and he's accurate. He's doing what we expected, and that's exciting. The defense is on another level too. T.J. Watt had a strip sack and another sack, while Alex Highsmith was a force on the other side. The secondary, including Joey Porter Jr. and Beanie Bishop, is also playing well. With players like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's considered one of the best safeties in the game, and newcomers like C.J. Henderson showing potential, the Steelers' defense is strong. Landon Roberts has been making big plays, and Cam Hayward is still going strong. The Steelers' pass rush is a big part of their success. Offensively, the Steelers need to keep moving the ball and scoring points, which they've done well since Russ took over. After a bye week, they'll face some tough teams like Washington, Baltimore, and Cleveland. We'll get a clearer picture of their strengths as they tackle these challenges. There are no easy games in the NFL, and the Browns, despite their record, have some star players. The Eagles are also looking tough this season. I believe the Steelers can win the division, but it won't be easy. Their strong defense gives them a chance every week, and having Russell Wilson as quarterback raises their ceiling. With his experience, he's been a huge asset for the team. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season unfolds. Also, shout out to Chris Boswell. He's been outstanding as a kicker this year. So, I picked up Chris Boswell in my fantasy league, even though he's on a bye week. Yes, I'm stashing 2 kickers now, but honestly, Boswell is just that good. He's automatic. He might have missed just 1 kick all year. He's also made quite a few from 50 yards or more. He and Harrison Butker are probably my 2 favorite kickers because they're so reliable, especially when it comes to making those big game-winning kicks. Now let's talk about the Steelers' offense. Najee Harris needs to keep performing like he did against the Giants, where he rushed for 114 yards on 19 carries, averaging 6 yards per carry. This season, his average is 4.4 yards per carry, which is a big improvement from a few weeks ago when it was 3.8. He's got 2 touchdowns and ranks 6th in rushing yards and 4th in carries. Najee is durable and always gets a lot of touches. He does get some criticism for not having a great yards per carry average throughout his career, but he's consistently out there making plays. Running backs have a tough time lasting in the NFL, and at 26 he's reaching that point, but we've seen plenty of running backs perform well, even in their late 20s and early 30s. Najee has some strong years ahead of him, and he's a tough runner who can make defenders miss. He also caught 3 passes for 17 yards, which is great to see. While he's not usually known for being a big receiving threat, he's been stepping up. Jaylen Warren had a solid game too, with 9 carries for 46 yards and 2 catches for 13 yards. The Steelers have a lot of weapons, even if they don't have superstars. They've got speed with Kelvin Austin, a deep threat in George Pickens, and solid tight ends like Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. Van Jefferson has also been reliable, catching passes and running good routes. I think the Steelers could really benefit from adding one more receiver. They tried to go after Brandon Ayuk, but I don't think they pursued Davante Adams, which could have been a game changer. If they can add just one more solid receiver, they'll be in a great position. The big question for the Steelers is whether they can outscore teams like the Chiefs and Ravens. They've played the Ravens well in the past, but they haven't faced Derrick Henry yet. Can they keep up with high-scoring teams? The Chiefs might hold the Steelers to 18 points. Can the Steelers hold the Chiefs to 17 or 16? We'll have to wait and see. Overall, I feel good about the Steelers. I actually feel better about them than the Ravens, especially since the Ravens' defense isn't as strong, particularly in the secondary. The Steelers may not have the most explosive offense, but we all know defense wins championships.